Hello, my dear friend. I've lived nearly 9 decades now, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that happiness doesn't just appear because life gives us good circumstances. Sometimes, it quietly slips away because of patterns in our hearts and minds, patterns we barely notice until it's too late. I want to share 6 emotional traps that I've seen take hold in later life, traps that quietly steal joy. And I want to share them with you as gently as I can, as if I'm sitting here over tea, just talking to you about life. Take a moment before we start. Think about your own life. Have you ever noticed a quiet worry, a recurring regret, or a feeling that something is missing, even when everything seems fine? If so, you're not alone. 1. The trap of regret. Regret is a heavy coat that some of us never take off. I remember my friend Margaret, who taught school for decades. She spent years wishing she had traveled abroad when she was younger. Every evening, the thought would creep in, making her shoulders sag a little more. Regret grows because we measure our lives against an imagined, perfect path, not the reality we actually lived. But here's the thing. Every choice we made shaped us and others in ways we may not even notice. Margaret eventually began to see the countless students she had influenced. That reframing, looking at what was instead of what wasn't, brought her peace. A gentle exercise. Each evening, name one regret and one real, tangible good that came from a life you actually lived. Even just one small reflection can lighten the heart. Ask yourself, what is one thing you regret today? And what is one gift that came from it? Hold both in your mind. 2. The trap of comparing yourself to others. The comparison trap. I'll admit, I've stumbled here many times. My neighbor retired and traveled the world, a cousin bought a new home, friends seemed to have endless adventures. I thought, I should have done that too. I must have missed out. But then I remembered mornings spent with my grandchildren, the quiet laughter of old friends, the comfort of a home filled with memories. Happiness isn't about measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. It's about noticing the richness in your own journey. Practical tip. Keep a small notebook and each evening write down one thing that brought you genuine joy that day. Over time, your eyes begin to notice blessings that were always there, quietly waiting. Reflect. Who are you comparing yourself to today? How might your own life be just as meaningful in ways they can't measure? 3. The trap of isolation. Loneliness can creep in slowly. I've watched many friends withdraw after losing partners, friends, or energy for socializing. Helen, a widow in her 80s, stopped going to community gatherings. She thought, nobody needs me there. It was only when she joined a small book club that laughter and companionship returned. Life is meant to be shared, and sometimes the first step is simply saying yes to one invitation. Even if you feel shy or unsure, the world opens when we reach out. Ask yourself, who could you call or visit this week? Even a short message, a phone call, or a cup of coffee can reconnect you to life. 4. The trap of trying to control everything. I confess, this was my own trap. I wanted everything done my way. Holidays, family gatherings, even how my adult children managed their own homes. The harder I gripped, the more distant my family became. Eventually, I realized control comes from fear. Fear of being irrelevant, forgotten, or powerless. Letting go doesn't mean disappearing. It means allowing others to lead, while keeping your heart present. Small exercise. Before correcting someone, ask a question first. Listen. You'll be amazed how much space and peace that creates. 5. The trap of clinging to the past. I loved my youth, the dances, the music, the carefree days. But if I lived only in those memories, I would have missed the delight of watching grandchildren take their first steps, or quiet moments watching the sunset on my porch. Nostalgia is sweet, but it can blind us to the beauty of today. 1 practice. Write down 3 small joys from each day, things that made your heart smile. Over time, the present becomes as rich and meaningful as any memory. Question to reflect on. What joy can you notice today, in this very moment? 6. The trap of resentment. Bitterness. This one sneaks in quietly. I had a long-standing grievance with a business partner decades ago. I replayed it in my mind for years, thinking it gave me energy or a sense of justice. But really, it drained me, day after day. One day, my grandson asked me, "Grandpa, why are you still angry?" That simple question opened a door. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing what happened. It means freeing your own heart from being chained to the past. Try this. Write a short letter to the person or situation that hurt you. Don't send it. Describe the pain, and then write what freedom would feel like. Even small steps release tension and open space for joy. These 6 traps, regret, comparison, isolation, control, clinging to the past, and resentment, aren't punishments. They're patterns that often make sense, at least at first. But noticing them gives us a choice. We can still live with joy, connection, and meaning, even in later years. I hope my stories gave you pause. Which trap spoke to you most? What small step can you take this week to practice peace, connection, or letting go? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your reflections, and your words may help someone else too. And if this talk resonated, please like it, subscribe, and share it with a loved one. Happiness in later life isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about learning how to rise above them, day by day,